Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Campus Safety Voices. I'm Robin Hattersley, Editor-in-Chief of Campus Safety. One of the biggest challenges facing most hospital security departments is funding for their officers, programs, and security technology upgrades. Fortunately, grants from the state, federal, and local governments can be excellent sources of funding. Just ask Joey Hunter, who is Director of Security, Safety, and Emergency Preparedness for San Gorgonio Memorial Hospital. He was able to secure more than $400,000 in federal and state grants, as well as save his hospital $500,000 in capital. Those are just some of the reasons Joey is one of this year's Campus Safety Healthcare Director of the Year finalists. In our interview, Joey tells us how he was able to obtain all those grants and achieve all of those savings. He also discusses strategies he's adopted in obtaining grants and provides some key steps other healthcare facilities can take to tap into this type of funding. So with that, here's my interview with Joey Hunter. Enjoy the show.
Be sure to subscribe to Campus Safety's YouTube channel and like or leave a comment on our videos. Or subscribe to our Campus Safety Voices podcast on Apple and Spotify and leave a review.
Joey, how were you able to secure more than $400,000 in federal and state grants? I mean, did you hire a grant writer, or maybe there's someone in your organization, maybe even you? So what's your secret?
So in 2019, I was looking for grant funding for some of my capital projects like cameras, access control, also metal detectors. So I reached out to a company called Global Grant Services, who specialize in writing grants. And they actually came in, pitched our C-suite, and we brought them on board to help write these grants for us.
Great. And any suggestions on how to work or how to select a grant writer? I mean, did you go through a vetting process, things like that?
So I know our local Indian tribe, which is Morongo, which is just to the east of us. They've used this company several times, and I know a few people there. So they passed the information on to me. We vetted them out to make sure they actually were able to do what they said they could do. And we went ahead and brought them aboard.
Great. Now, I know once you have a grant, you need to manage it. So any suggestions on how to effectively manage a grant?
So one thing we did with our grants that we applied to, we made sure they were the grants that we could actually maintain through the grant cycle, which is normally 3 to 4 years. So instead of going after the smaller grants, we went after the larger grants just to see if we would actually get them. Now, I know once or twice we submitted the documents and they came back as rejected. But one good thing with the federal government and the state, they'll actually tell you and show you what you messed up on. So we were able to make those corrections, submit them back to them in a timely fashion, and actually get those grants approved. One of the secrets that we used, and I recommend for everybody, is to go through your state senators, your congressmen, your fire department, your fire chiefs, your police chiefs, and get those letters of support to help push those grants through.
Okay. Now, it's my understanding you were able to save your hospital $500,000 in capital. So what steps did you take to accomplish this?
Again, all those, that particular amount was done through, the grants, looking for the larger grants, making sure that these grants could get pushed through, making sure that we qualify for these grants. Our hospital is unique, unlike some of the other hospitals in our area, because we are a hospital district, which we fall under the same entity as a regular government. So we actually qualify for grants that other hospital systems may not qualify for. So just because of that, we were able to qualify for some grants leading up to $500,000.
Okay, so it wasn't savings then? It's my understanding that you also achieved some savings?
So most of the savings is, instead of spending the capital from spending the money from our own capital, we were able to qualify for these grants, and that is what saved us the $500,000.
Ah, I see. Okay. So then with the savings that you did, because you didn't have to spend your capital, were you able to redirect those to other things
That's
to improve
correct. We were able
security?
to redirect those other funds towards our nursing departments and to our engineering department. So let's say if you consider a life-saving machine, a pulse ox, or heart monitoring, we were able to redirect those funds towards that type of equipment.
Wow, that's great. So any advice for other healthcare facilities on finding funds for their security programs?
So what I do almost on a daily basis, I go through a website called grants.gov. Anybody can sign up for it. It's absolutely free. If you type in the search bar exactly what you're looking for, those grants will pop up. One thing you really need to look for is when the grant closes and the ceiling on the grants. Now, most of the grants that I've qualified for were grants that were non-matching, meaning that you didn't have to put up 50% of the money. The federal government and the state paid 100% on the grant. So
Great.
my secret sauce is to look every day, and if you see something you like, again, take that information, give it to your grant writers, or if you are a grant writer, apply to it. Like I may have shared it with you today in an email that I got a grant sent to me today by the state that had a ceiling of $250 million. So anybody in the state of California can apply to that. Anybody in actually United States can apply to that. That's a Homeland Security non-matching nonprofit grant.
So the moral of the story is do your homework
Do your homework and stay on
and
top of it.
be diligent. Great.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add? Any other sage
One
advice
thing
you
I
want to
will
give?
add is when you work with a grant writer, whenever they ask you to submit some documents or submit some paperwork, try to be on time because they're on a time crunch as well. So when working with my grant writer, I make sure that if he asks for a document to be signed or a document to be submitted to him, I did it right away, so they never have to wait. And most of the grants that we submitted to, we got within 6 months after our initial application.
Great. Joey, thank you so much.
Thank you.